Is that better? And I can still hear the music playing in the background. Why is that? What is going wrong today? Okay, that might be better. That might be why. Maybe it's to do with the music. I turned it down like I always do. But anyway, let me scroll to the bottom because I was saying hello to people. Yes, sounds back. So I'll scroll back to the top. I will do the hellos again. So welcome to the Hermit's Cave. I don't know why it's done that because it's never done that before. I'm wearing my AirPods. Um, and when I turn the music down from the intro, it normally kicks in. But anyway, Rob was the first one in. So hello, Rob. And long-haired skinny Ito. And Ramon. And then we have Inked Witchy Girl. Oh, Inked Witchy Tarot. Still do it. Spirit Wing. Julie, Brian from Guncle Tarot, Linda, Red Wing, Kim, who had a birthday this week. Happy belated. No, was it? Is it today? Or was it yesterday? Yesterday, wasn't it? Or is it today? All the days are rolling into one. Anyway, happy birthday, Kim. Patsy's here. Hello, Patsy. Hope you're doing okay. And we have Sunny Mac, Indira, Cecilia's here. Hello. Just got off to make a brew. I've got my brew as well. And do you know what? I just put a clean pullover on because I like to, if I'm coming live, I like to be fresh. So I just put a clean jumper on, took a sip of my tea and spilt it all down me. Some things never change. I've done that my entire life. Messy, mucky, not in the, yeah, anyway. Chris is here. Hello, Chris. Nice to see you. And Mike and Justin. Justin's got his cuppa. And then we've got Susan. Nice to see you, Susan. Becca. Hello, Becca. Nice to see you. Maruta and Sarah. Vanessa, Ange, Kat, Lily. QWERTY's here. Hello, QWERTY. And we have, just scroll down, see if I've not got or missed anybody. Carol's Cauldron, Lily Rose, Maddie's here. Hello, Maddie. And I think this is where you're all saying no audio. Kat is here. Crystal Rose, Malamia. Hello, Malamia. And Linda. And I think, are we there? Have I said hello to everybody? Truth in Shadow D, nice to see you. Caroline's here. Hello, Caroline. Scott. Hello, Scott. I've not seen you for ages. How are you doing? Robin's here as well. Thought he was going deaf. Jack of Diamonds, Forever We're After, Miss Moonlight Musing, and I think I've caught up with everybody. And breathe. It kind of makes you feel all discombobulated, doesn't it? When I keep forgetting this mug is really hot. And we'll open that up. So I've got the Facebook comments as well, just in case there's anybody watching from the Hermit's Cave Facebook group. So, how's everybody's weekend so far? We've had a lot of snow here in the UK, real dumping of snow, and where I work shut at midday on Thursday, but I still went in because, to be fair, in Nottingham and in the city in particular, it wasn't bad, but where we've got other satellite sites was really, really bad. But this morning, I still went over. I drove carefully, but I went over for 6 a.m. I got up at 5, shower, leave, and get to my friends for 6, where we walk the dogs, as I mentioned, each week. But it was we couldn't do the route because the snow was it was -4 this morning at that time, and it was like walking on broken glass, and every foot was a trudge. And then you go uphill into this high point where there's fields and everything, and it was completely inaccessible. So we was like, we're going to have to turn back. So you might not be here now, sitting here talking like this. Might still be in a field somewhere trying to get out, stuck. Oh, talking of stuck, has anybody seen the film on Netflix called Fall? Oh my gosh. I mean, it's really good, but I watched it this afternoon. I did some chores this morning and I thought, oh, I fancy watching a film. Um, and we've got a program on a Friday called Gogglebox, and they kind of started showing bits because they show people's reactions, a bit like reaction videos. Um, so I stopped it because I thought, no, that looks good, and I don't want any spoilers. And I'm glad I did because there were spoilers in it because I've since gone back and I watched it this afternoon. But it is one of the most tense 2 hours I think I've ever sat through. Um, my palms were sweating. I sat watching it like this, and I was like, "Gotta look away! Gotta look away!" It was intense. I watched it, couldn't look. Yeah, Becca. It was. It's just like I don't know. It's just so extreme to be in that position. Um, but it was really good. I highly recommend it. We often do recommends, don't we, on on this during this cuppa, um, things that we've seen and stuff like that. The second part of You has also dropped. I think that was on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. So it was in two halves. You got the first 5 episodes last month and the last 5 episodes this month. What's it about? Forever Where After. Fall, the film, it's about a group of friends. There's three of them, a married couple and a female friend, and they climb like mountains, that sort of thing. I'm not going to give the whole thing away. Um, and something happens to the husband, and then a year later, her best friend says, "Come on, you've got to get your life back." And they've always been kind of like adrenaline junkie type people, and they decide to climb this pole which I don't know if they even say what state it's in. It might be Arizona. It looks like Arizona type. Um, but it's this huge mast, this huge pole, which is 2,000 feet. And at one time, it was the tallest structure in the States. And in the film, it's now the third tallest structure in the States. But it's literally a pole. And they climb to the very top, and then something happens and they get stuck. And of course, there's no phone signal up there because they're too high. But if you have vertigo, I mean, I've done roller coasters and all that sort of thing, but I'm not that comfortable if I don't feel safe. So heights for me, I can always remember going up the Shard, which is the tallest building in Europe. It's in London. And the first time I went up to Skydeck, because I'm all right if I feel safe like that, there was a guy hanging over the other side on a rope cleaning it. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I took a photo. I should dig it out. And I was just, my palms were sweating for him, I mean, he was harnessed and everything. But yeah, so it's about how these two girls, and they're up there for a long time, try to get help or, well, I won't give things away, but gosh, it is, like I say, it's really, really tense. Hello to everybody else coming in. I watched the new Idris Elba film. I need to watch the series first. It's one of those things where everybody tells me it's brilliant, and I've tried to watch it like 3 times. A bit like Peaky Blinders. I just can't get into it. But I was like that about The Fall, and everybody was saying, "Oh, The Fall is really, really good." Um, and I tried to watch it a few times. It's probably just not the time. The time isn't right. I'm too distracted, or my ADD's kicking in, or whatever. But I watched it and then just loved it. So maybe I should watch Luther, the series, before watching the film, because I've heard that the film's just been released. I got to go to my readers before I type something I regret. I want to see the movie. It sounds good. I've got to go and get my readers before you type something you regret. The film is good, but if you're of a nervous disposition, it was an uncomfortable watch for me. I enjoyed it, but I remember halfway through thinking, I don't know if I can see this through. What am I doing watching this? But I'm glad I did see it through. See if I missed any comments. How's your mug heater going? I got a new mug with a sippy cup lid which holds the heat longer. It's brilliant. I don't know if you can see it because my name's in the way. And it's got the triple moon. But it keeps it piping hot. And what I found last week was the less liquid there is in it, the hotter it gets. So much so that I was, when you're drinking a cup of tea or coffee normally, and you get a little bit left, it's normally quite lukewarm. So I had that sort of cognitive dissonance of picking it up and thinking, "Oh, this is going to be lukewarm." Taking a big gulp, and it was absolutely my mouth really burnt. If you remember from last week, I was like, "Blooming hell, that's scalding hot." So. Hello, Roots and Wings, Ange. That's Ange's new Tiny Trinkets, Ange. That's Ange's new channel name, by the way. Walking on Broken Glass. Thanks for the earworm. Oh, Annie Lennox. Hello, Sandra. Nice to see you. Don't worry. You never have to apologise for being late here. Hello, Miss Moonlight Musing. And everybody's saying hello to those coming in, like Chris and Sandra. I hate heights. It gave me palpitations. Did you watch it right to the end, Becca? So good though, isn't it? The tiny bit of space they had as well. Because, it's not like a huge structure. It's literally a pole. I read that about getting your readers. Hello to Maya. That sounds absolutely terrifying. Yeah, Marute. I don't think the film is going to be for everybody. Is it on the? I would imagine if we've got it on UK Netflix, it's on US Netflix as well. Oh yes, Justin went to see the new Scream. It was actually good. I saw somebody else, who I'm a friend with on Facebook in the States, Jonathan Rayburn. He went to see it last night too, and he put actually it was a really good film. So that's good to hear that because you kind of think that Scream 6. How long is this going to go on for? But I think they do them better than like in the 80s when you used to have films that went on forever, like Friday the 13th Part 36. There was really low budget and naff. Oh, Becca, I watched The Conjuring because I've got The Conjuring on DVD, and last Sunday I was just browsing in the shop, HMV downstairs, and they got a deal on Blu-ray videos, which was two for £13, which is brilliant for Blu-ray. And I bought Lost Boys because I've never seen it, and I was like, oh, I've heard this is a really good film. No, I didn't enjoy it. I don't think it's aged well. So I was like, but I didn't know. So I got that, and I was like, what else should I get? And then I saw The Conjuring 2, and I watched that at yours. Um, but I've forgotten a lot about it, and I really enjoyed it. So I had a Conjuring double bill last Sunday afternoon. But I know they're films that you're like. I think I'm going to be sucked into the Conjuring universe now and end up getting because there's a new Nun film. I watched the Nun at yours as well, didn't I, Becca? And I don't think I was too impressed with that. And I've not seen any of the Annabelle films. I might have to watch this. Watch it, Sandra. Let me know what you think. Although you're going away tomorrow, so it'll probably be when you get back. Um, Hello, Pink Divination. Nice to see you. And welcome. Thank you for your kind words. And Danny's made alive. No work today. Let's see if I can catch up. Chat is moving so fast. Yeah, it can catch up. It can catch up. I was reading then and thinking of something else. It actually said what I was reading. It can scroll quite fast. Sandra says Conjuring films are great. You hated the nun. Yeah, I think I did. I can remember. Yeah, I did hate the nun. Not a good film unless you stoned or really like Bad Boys. Oh, The Lost Boys. Yeah, I think Keith Sutherland always kind of played that part, didn't he, back then? One of my all-time favourite films is Stand By Me, the Rob Reiner film from '86, I think it is. Um, and he plays that type of character in that, doesn't he? He's one of the older kids. Um, but but then now I got used to him from 24 because I'm obsessed with 24. I've got every box set of the whole 10 years. Um, It'll be when I get back. It's the teen vampire film. Yeah, but it doesn't really. Yeah, if you like motorbikes, um, and kind of vampire-ish type films, then you'll like it. But I don't think it's aged well, particularly. Um, Try the movie The Skeleton Key. That's an old film, isn't it? I'm sure I've seen that. It sounds familiar. Just remind me what it's about, Tamaya. Just give me a little synopsis and I'll tell you if I've seen it or not. Insidious, Justin, is a very good film. I've got Insidious on DVD. I haven't bought or seen Insidious 2. That's the one with Barbara Hershey in it, isn't it? From Beaches. Another great film. 'Cause I'm soppy like that. I love things like Beaches, and there's a few Bette Midler films back in the day. For the Boys was good, but my favourite was Stella. It's so hard to get. You can't get it on DVD over here, but really, really good. You sat through it with me, then you said you hated it. Yeah. Although it's not as bad as the first time you ever came here, and you was like, "I've got a great film recommendation for you. You'll love it." I put it on, and it was about bloody killer moths. And then Beck was halfway through, and she's like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot you've got a phobia about moths." uh, The Lost Boys was a teenage-centered film where all the actors were heartthrobs. Really? Um, the nun was far too dark. I bloody couldn't see anything. I can't remember much about it other than I wasn't impressed. Skeleton Key was a great movie. I wasn't expecting the twist at the end. Well, if you give me the synopsis, don't give me the twist. Stand By Me is one of my favourites. It's very much like my childhood. Grew up. Yeah, well, when that film came out, I was 15. Um, but I didn't see it until a partner and I was living with at the time, we got Sky. We were the first people on the street to have a satellite dish put up. We thought we were dead posh, which would be about 1991. I want to say 1991. Satellite dishes, wow. And it was a black one, uh, and it was BSB because you either had Sky or BSB, and then Sky they merged and became B Sky B, and now it's just Sky. Um, and it was a square reel, so it was a satellite dish. It was black, but it was kind of like square. Anyway, that was the first time I watched Stand By Me, and I just absolutely loved it. Second favourite film, first being Shawshank Redemption, third being The Colour Purple. Colour Purple. Um, Insidious 3. I didn't even know there was an Insidious 3, Tony. Never been able to go to the toilet in mid-afternoon as bathroom was haunted. That's like my mum. I don't know why she did it, why she was in that frame of mind. But I badgered her when I was 13 to stay up on Halloween to watch Halloween. It was being premiered, and I was literally 13. I turned 13 2 weeks before, and she let me stay up, and she went to bed. There was just the two of us then. It was before she married my stepdad, and she let me stay up, and I was literally terrified. I watched it from behind a pillar, and then I didn't go upstairs because I was too frightened, so I slept the whole night in the armchair. And then she was like, "I'm never letting you do that again." Um, Simon, have you seen Being Human UK? Yes, that's the one with Russell Tovey in it, isn't it? Where they live together. Yeah, that's quite old now, isn't it? Is it about 20 years ago? Uh, Barbara Hershey is also in The Entity. Is she really? I've not seen that for years. When videos, I'm showing my age now, VHS videotapes, because you didn't go the route of Betamax. But my dad had a video recorder, and I used to go and stay at the weekends, and we used to go to the video shop, um, and there was only so many films you could rent from the horror section. So you used to rent them all the time, and The Entity was one of them. I used to watch it a lot. Again, I'd be like 13, 14. Um, the twist at the end of Skeleton Key is so good. But now I know there's a twist coming. It's like someone told me there was a twist when I went to see Sixth Sense. So therefore, because I knew there was a twist, I was trying to second guess everything. And I was married at the time, and as soon and if I'm right, I'm going to say this: if you haven't seen The Sixth Sense, there's about to be a massive spoiler alert. So if you want to mute me, mute me. If you don't want that spoiler, when I put my hand up, it's time to unmute. But we went to the cinema to see it, and somebody said to me, "Oh, there's a massive twist. There's a massive twist." So of course, when he got shot, and it was at the point, I remember it flashing through my mind, thinking, "Oh, he's been shot," and then he was okay, and I thought, "Oh, okay." And then as soon as that kid said, "I see dead people," I thought, "Oh, he's dead. That's it. He didn't survive being shot." I turned to the ball and I said, "Oh, he's dead." Yeah, she never really got over that for spoiling it. Um, Hello, Laura. Nice to see you. Killer Moths. Am I that far behind? Killer Moths. Harold and Maude. Why do I know that? That's an old film as well, isn't it? Harold and Maude. I tuned in at Killer Moths. Hello, Kathy. Nice to see you. Um, it's a great ending. You're on about Skeleton Key. Similar to The Sixth Sense, the end is a shocker. You will rewatch it to see what you missed. Now I'll work it out. I bet you. I know how you feel about them, Simon. I jumped and spilled red wine everywhere when I watched Insidious. It looked like there had been a massacre. It is good though, isn't it, Insidious? Uh, I love On a Clear Day. Hello, Marcia. Nice to see you. I just started to watch your video, but it's an hour and I didn't have time to finish it. But I've watched a good 40 minutes of it. And I'm so pleased that you are enjoying the Old Fellow Revive decks. I love them. Mine's over here. Um, oh wait, I need to check out Insidious 3. I need to check out Insidious 2. Um, what's the film where I think it's is it Guillermo del Toro? Where there's like they live in a house and it used to be like an orphanage or something. That was a really good film. I forget the because I used to have a Cineworld card, which meant you pay so much every month, and you go to the cinema unlimited times. And because I live opposite a cinema in the city, I used to go over every Sunday morning and watch a film on their like the first showing before it got busy, like 10:30 in the morning. I have seen Shutter Island, and so I saw loads of films, but then they all kind of blur into one, and you forget the titles of them. But I do remember that one being really creepy as well. And The Strangers is really creepy. I almost walked out the cinema on The Strangers because it was one of them where you just know you're going to jump, and I didn't want to jump in the cinema where there's loads of people around me. So I thought I'm gonna have to get up and leave, but I didn't. I stuck it out. I was a brave boy. Also, the Hannibal films, they're so good. They are so good. Or they're Manhunter. I think they've didn't they redo. There was one called Red Dragon, wasn't they? Or was that? Or was it Manhunter? But that was done, filmed even before, done in the 80s. That one isn't so good because lots of people don't realise that Silence of the Lambs is actually a sequel. But Silence of the Lambs was a brilliant film. All those films around the early 90s was really good. Sleeping with the Enemy as well, Julia Roberts. That was a good film from the time. Tina, What's Love Got to Do with It? Brilliant. That's one of my favourites. That's in my top five. Um, had to wait for partner to come so I could pee. Why? Why? Love Shutter Island. What a twist at the end. I saw that at the cinema years ago, but I can't remember much about it. And I always get it mixed up with the one where is it called Inception, where he gets into the dreams? Because they were out at the same time. I haven't seen the Insidious films now, I'm afraid. We've gone down a right rabbit hole of films, haven't we? Um, Aidan Turner was so good as the vampire. He's also in The Hobbit. Oh, that's Being Human. I haven't heard of half these films you're talking about. Um, and You Delicious Biscoff Sunday. Um, okay, let's see if I can catch up. Sixth Sense was on TV a couple of nights ago. My mum guessed it straight away. Yeah, I think if you get the kind of soundbite from people, there's a twist, then you go watching it. Oh, I didn't put my hand up. You can listen again now. I just saw Brian's little hand, and I thought, oh yes, I've not put my hand back up. Sorry if you've all been muted for all this time. Sixth Sense was filmed in South Philadelphia, right near my house. Wow. Um, The Exorcist, that's a good one. We introduced Elle to The Exorcist. When was it? Becca's. There were some others that was going to show them as well, wasn't there? That were classics that they'd not even heard of. Like, we need to expose you to these kind of cool classic horror films. I'm too scared to watch horror movies. I couldn't watch The Exorcist. I watched The Ring by accident. I like a good. See, I don't like. I've mentioned before. I don't like slasher kind of movies. Things like Saw and all that. I like tense thriller type, creepy. That's got a good story as well. If you've muted Simon, he's done with the spoiler. Thanks, Laurie. Watch Pumpkinhead in October. Is that good? It sounds a little bit kind of cheesy. Um, Sandra has an old fellow deck now too. Um, I don't like I don't like it when people say, "Oh, there's a twist at the end," because you're anticipating, and it's kind of a spoiler. It is, yeah. Um, unless it's a really good one and you don't see it coming. I watched Signs twice this week. I am a huge M. Night Shyamalan fan. He can do no wrong. I know he went through a dip of being slated around the time of like Lady in the Water and all that, and everybody was saying, "Oh, It's the same kind of tricks all the while, but they're not. Each individual film. Devil was really underrated, and that was a fantastic film. He's just done one recently, hasn't he? What was it he's just done? And it was really good. Or it's just coming out. I might have seen him on a chat show talking about it. Girl Gone, Gone Girl, yeah, that's good. Hello, Anne. Late to the party, but hello all. Nice to see you. The Strangers we watched at yours, do you remember? I do remember. Uh, I thought Blair Witch was crap. Oh, I loved Blair Witch. I think it's one you have to see in the cinema, but it's because I think it ended and I was like, oh, I wanted more from it. But while you're in it and submerged in it, then I thought it was really good. Oh, I need to catch up 'cause the chat is moving, even though I'm trying to pull it down. Yeah, Red Dragon is a redo of Manhunter. That's right. What's the one? Oh, it's just called Hannibal, isn't it? With Ray Liotta at the table, and he's got the top part of his head off. He's just helping himself. Um, I haven't commented before due to email address problems, but you've kept me company throughout lockdown. Thank you for your great videos, Dawn. Oh, lovely, Dawn. Dawn the prawn. That's a lovely thing to say. Thank you. And it's lovely that you've been able to comment. So, she was so scared she couldn't go to the loo. Oh, that's why she had to wait for us. But I see. Pennies dropped. Well, only because you helped it to drop. Hello, Simon. How are you today? I'm fine, Kay. How are you? It's nice to see you. Um, Sleeper in the Enemy, I find traumatic. Yeah. Um, did anyone watch Discovery of Witches? Discovery of Witches. Again, I think that's a series I couldn't get into. Is that where there's that book in the library? Uh, Angie's internet bumped. Time Traveler's Wife, brilliant film. Saw that twice at the cinema. So I went to see it, and a friend said to me, "Oh, I wanted to go and see that. If I'd known, I could have gone with you." So I said, "Well, I'll go see it again. I can go free, well, not free, but unlimited." Um, yeah, I really enjoyed it. What's that film where the whole thing is backward? The whole film is in reverse. Not because the Time Traveler's Wife reminds me of it, but uh, you start at the end, and every scene is the scene before. Oof, that takes some, you know, kind of concentration. White Noise with Kevin Bacon. I need to make a note of these. I'm gonna have to come back into this chat tomorrow with a notepad and pen. 'Cause sometimes I sit on a Sunday afternoon and think I want a really, really good film. Rosemary's Baby. There's another classic. Um, I'm the same, Simon. I like paranormal horror. Yes. Um, back in the Winnie the Pooh Tara, never back to Kickstarter before, but I was back in a deck and I've cancelled my pledge. I just can't do Kickstarter at the moment. I've done them in the past, but I don't like the fact that they'll just take the money on a certain day and you've got to keep thinking about, oh, make sure I've got enough in for that and this and then I forget and then all of a sudden it goes out and then you've got to wait. I'm just impatient. You've got to wait for a long time for it to come, sometimes up to a year. I just put on 6 cents. Kathy says, Exorcist is beyond horror. It's terror. Witches of Eastwick. I love that film. That was a good 80s film. 87, I think. Pumpkinhead is really good. Haunting of Hill House. I've seen that, yeah. Yes, Exorcist is a mild movie by today's standard. It was groundbreaking at the time, wasn't it? Let's see. Simon, are you watch his series on Apple TV? He did Old. Oh, Old was about that island. I've got the video. I've got the DVD of that. That's the film. I don't have Apple TV. I've got Disney. I've got Prime, I've got Netflix. I just can't keep adding to them because otherwise it just becomes really expensive. And we're forced to pay a TV license here as it is. Um, Even though I really begrudge that. I'd sooner they take BBC off my TV, especially at the minute with the way they're behaving, but that's another thing. Cape Fear is good. They really are, Marcia. Uh, right, let's see if I can catch up a bit. I saw Jurassic Park in the cinema. I did too. uh, yes, to my that takes me back to my childhood. The Little Mermaid, a cartoon version, pre-Disney. They stuck to Hans Christian Andersen's original story. There was a film, I think it might have been dubbed as well, but it was shown when I was a kid on TV, and I think I'd be about 12 when I watched it, and it was really, really good, but it was heartbreaking. The mermaid, when she came to shore and fell in love, the sea witch had said to her that every time she stood, this is what stuck in my mind, every time she walked, it felt like she was walking on broken glass. They are Chris again. There's another, just to drive in that earworm. Um, and at the end, she just fell into the water because he didn't love her anymore. It's heartbreaking. I don't know if anybody remembers it. Benjamin Button, such a good film, but that's not the one. That's where his life um, is in reverse, isn't it? Um, but there's a film where the whole film is in reverse. So it starts at the end and it goes to the beginning. So you're always having to remember the scene before so that the scene you're watching makes sense. Um, Might have to Google it after. Memento. That yes, that's it. Memento. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Moonlight Musing. Uh, can you can anyone think of a horror movie that doesn't involve a house? Gosh, yes. Just mentioned Blair Witch. That's in the woods. Uh, well, I suppose that's because it's mainly about hauntings, isn't it? Clockwork Orange. I've never watched Clockwork Orange. Uh, I'm like you, Simon. Impatient. Dawn of the Dead. Okay, I really can't catch up today. We pay for the BBC with a TV license. Yeah, we do. It's not cheap either. Um, and I don't see why we need to now. You know, with all kind of streaming and all that sort of stuff. When I was a kid, you just paid your TV license, you got everything. Now you've got to have like a provider, like Virgin, which is a cost. And then on top of that, you've got to pay for your subscriptions like Disney and Netflix and Apple TV and BritBox and they just all pile up. And then you've got to pay a license just to have a TV in case you watch BBC. So wait, a TV license different to Kate? Yes, yeah. Every house in the country has to pay a license. Um, Otherwise, you can end up in prison for having a TV without a TV license. Literally, I my sister's next door neighbour, this is going back into the 80s, she'd got children as well, she was on her own. She went to prison for non-payment of fine because she couldn't afford to pay a fine for being caught watching TV without a license. She only went for something like 2 weeks, but even so, uh, awful. Yeah, Sandra's just explained it there. Um, I can't believe that's Donnie Wahlberg. Donnie Wahlberg in Sixth Sense. Donnie Wahlberg? Don't know who he is. I know Mark Wahlberg, and he's in one of M. Night Shyamalan's films called The Happening. Um, Driving movies is a USA only thing. Yes, although we've started to have big outdoor. We've got a stately home just on the edge of the city called Woollerton Hall, and it keeps coming up on Facebook adverts. They're showing Grease, I think in May. They're not drive-ins, but you could go and sit in the park and watch it on a big screen. But they're not popular. They're rare over here. And that's something I never did when I was in the States, go to a drive-through. Kind of wish I had. Um, in the beginning scene, he is the guy that broke into the house. Oh, the one with who shoots him. That's Donnie Wahlberg. Wow. So you have to pay for a TV license and pay for the TV services as well, like Netflix. I never knew about the license. Yeah, so if you've got a TV license, they used to be different when I was a kid. You'd have a black and white TV license or a colour TV license. Now it's just a TV license. But if you've got a TV in your home and you use it, then you have to pay a TV license. It only goes to the BBC, which only have two channels. Well, they've got more than that now, but BBC One and BBC Two are terrestrial channels. So all the others are independent because they have commercials. So you have to pay for that, but it's also paying for a radios as well. So it's TV and radio license really, which is called the TV license. And it's about £150 a year to have this license. You can pay by direct debit like £13, which I do, £13 a month or something like that, which is more than what I pay for Netflix. And I watch Netflix a lot more, but it's not optional. You know, with subscriptions like Netflix and Disney, you choose whether you want to have that service or not. This is no choice. You've got to pay it, or you get fined. And if you don't pay your fine, you go to prison. TV license seems like nonsense. It is. We used to have dog licenses. They scrapped that. In fact, most licenses got scrapped. But the BBC has a lot of power in this country, and it's being shown now because they're kind of linked. The chief of the BBC is a Tory, a big conservative person, which is in our, Conservatives are our government at the moment, well, have been for the last 13 years. So they won't scrap it. They won't scrap it whilst we've at least got this government. There has been talk in the past about scrapping it, but it's never actually happened. So, but it's outdated. It's really outdated, especially with the way our viewing has changed. I know a lot of the older generations will still sit down with a TV guide and look at what's on, but I don't ever do that now. Everything I want to watch is set to pre-record, and I watch things in my own time. I don't sit and watch a schedule. The TV never goes on for normal TV at weekends ever because there's nothing on at the weekend, in my opinion, worth watching. They're all quiz shows at weekends or talent shows and all that kind of thing. So I just kind of watch Netflix or things that have recorded in the week. There's a very good documentary this week about George Michael. It's called George Michael Outed. And I've seen the first part and I'm going to watch the second part tomorrow or maybe after this live. But really, really good documentary about him. If you only watch streaming services or catch-up TV, excluding BBC stuff, then you don't need one. But it's proving it, isn't it? Because you could, if you had a laptop and you only watch streaming services, but if you put your TV on, because of the detector vans and things, how can you prove that, yeah, I've not watched BBC? Because they're there, built in with your TV. Where are we? Donnie Wahlberg is Mark Wahlberg's brother, part of the New Kids on the Block. Oh, really? Well, Mark Wahlberg was Marky Mark, wasn't he? Because there was all that controversy about his homophobic stance back in the day. I've kind of got over it. I think he's kind of made amends for it, but at the time it was pretty horrible. Um, Public broadcasting system is supposed to be supported by government here in the States. Yeah, does my head in. George Michael is my idol. I remember, Patsy, I think you've mentioned that once about George Michael, how much you liked him. Uh, I've always thought, I've always had a thought for George Michael every December 5th. Is that his birthday? I know he died on Christmas Day, didn't he? Um, oh, December 25th. I've just seen it. Uh, yeah, I've caught up. Right, so I've got something to show you. Have a sup of my coffee. So I've had a little package that I've not opened yet, other than taking the top off. Um, and it's from somebody called Ralph. So if you do watch this back, Ralph, just wanted to say thank you. So a couple of weekends ago, I got a message from Ralph just to say him and his wife really enjoyed the channel and enjoyed watching the lives back and things like that. And he said that he'd got a deck that he didn't want and wanted to gift me. Um, and I was like, oh, okay, that's really lovely. Um, and saying, can I send it to you? And but you know what it's like. I mean, it's lovely that the gift was sent, but I thought, well, what if I've already got it? So I said, well, I've got quite a few decks. I don't want him to waste his money and ship it if I'd already got it. And he says, well, you haven't, because I know it's a deck that you wanted. Oh, I thought there was another little note then. It's a piece of paper. And I was really, when he said what it was, I was like, oh my goodness. So he has sent me the Nigel Jackson tarot, which I've not been able to get. I kind of came to the party late with Nigel Jackson. What I did get when I was in Glastonbury, not last year, the year before, so about 18 months ago, was the Rose Tarot by Nigel Jackson. And I love his art style. Really, really love it. And this is a lovely set. I've got it in a little bag. But the only thing, and it's only a little thing, it's about aesthetics. But the only thing was about this deck in particular. I mean, look how beautiful the images are. Is all of the miners are like this, with kind of like this. I don't know what shape you'd call that, like an oval shape. Do you see what I mean? Um, that's the chords for every card, and I don't know. I then looked online and saw the Nigel Jackson, and I just thought, oh my gosh, that is so nice. But it was out of print and really hard to get. And when it did come up on places like eBay, it was silly. So I just resigned myself to the fact that, well, just enjoy the Rose Tarot and, may do. But he sent me his deck because he wanted to pass it on, and he wanted to pass it on to me. And I didn't even realise it's in this little set here. So it's got a book, gorgeous art. I mean, look at this. I love the soft colour tones and everything. So it says, the Nigel Jackson Tarot, relive the magic of times gone by with this enchanting new tarot deck. It seems strange saying that now. From the internationally acclaimed artist and tarot scholar Nigel Jackson. The 78 beautifully illustrated cards reflect his research into classical, medieval, and Renaissance occult symbolism. The accompanying mini-book presents the artist's groundbreaking new theory about the connection between Pythagorean numerology, my gosh, numerology. I say numerology all the time, so I don't know why I couldn't say it then. And the timeless symbolism of the tarot. In addition to detailed descriptions and interpretations of each card, the mini-book includes information about the historical origins of the tarot, as well as meditation exercises to help you deepen your connection to the cards. So it's a really nice little compact set. It reminds me of the Chrysalis Tarot. The Chrysalis Tarot comes in a little, or did, don't know how it comes now. Comes in a little set like this. So it's by Llewellyn. I think it was released about 20 years ago. I want to say 2001 or something like that, from memory. Just seeing, that's a generous gift. Hi, Gerald. It is a generous gift, isn't it? I was completely shocked. 2000, copyright 2000, as a year out. Contains a complete full-colour 78 deck with a 160-page mini-book. Nigel Jackson, Llewellyn Publications. Yeah, so nice little set. So let's take a look. So you've got the sleeve there, which that's quite compact as well. So there's no images in the book. It's text, because as it says, it's about his writings. But it's got quite a lot of text for each card. And then it goes through, so card 20, Judgment. The 20th card depicts the classic Christian symbology of the last day and resurrection. So he describes the scenes as well, which is always good. So this book is almost 150 pages. So I'm worried I'm missing comments. So either tag me or put in capitals if you want to. That's really gross, Robin. What's Robin saying? What? Stray hair story? Do I even want to go there? Oh, okay. You bought a copy and it got a. I wonder where that story was going about a stray hair. Okay. So this is the box. Oh, it's got that kind of deck of yesterday feel. Do you know what I mean? Where you don't get them like this now. Another card on the back. And his artwork is kind of semi-pippish. So you do get kind of an arrangement, but there's this scenery as well. And you don't get that that style in the pips. They are full cards. These cards are quite a nice size, actually. That's the backs. So let me. Oh, they're not in order. I wonder if I should put them in order to show you them. I'll compare it with the other one. So this is kind of what you'd call a standard tarot size. Well, it's the full card. But this one, same kind of cardstock, but look at the size difference. So it's a much bigger card. Same sort of. They almost feel identical, actually. This one might be a little bit more thicker. Yeah, this is a little bit thinner, the new one. So say it's Llewellyn, but their cardstock, mind you, this is Llewellyn of 23 years ago. Really nice cardstock. I first saw that deck on Marsha's channel. Have you got it, Marsha? The Nigel Jackson. So how out of... Oh, hold on. This isn't bad at all. 4, so that needs to 6. Oh, then it goes to Queen of Cups, so there might be Um, Queen of Cups, Knight of Cups, Page of Cups, Ten of Cups, Nine of Cups. Talk amongst yourselves. They're not all out of order, but there's chunks, if you know what I mean, that are out of order. King of Cups, Staves, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Page, Knight, Queen, King. 1, 2, then we've got coins, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Page, Knight, Queen, King. Then we've got the Hermit. So let's go from Justice, Hermit, Wheel, Fortitude, Hangman, Death, Temperance, Devil, Tower. Do you know, this image of the Tower keeps coming in decks. I said last night when I did the fabulous Earth Magic Tarot, I am so in love with that deck. It gave me the most on-point reading last night. Amazing. But that's got one of those shaped, almost like a, what do they call it? Not where it's kind of like a funnel shape. Gosh, this is how I go. This is how I go. I nearly said it then. Judgment, the World, and then we've got Ace of Swords, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Page, Knight, Queen, King, and then we've got Ace, 2, 3 of Cups. Okay, I think we're there. So yeah, so these are the backs, which are nice. I like them. Which goddess is your statue, Simon? This one in the corner, that's Gaia. That's my Gaia statue. She's quite big, actually, and very heavy. I love Gaia. Gaia is, if I'm going to have a depiction, a personification of a deity, then it would always be Gaia for me. So here's the Fool. Oh, we've got a cat for the Fool, with the Fool. And the butterfly. I love it's almost like a crayon. Beautiful images. Yeah, the Tower of Babel is often shown in that spiral. Conical, thank you. Thank you, Tony. I was going, you know how a word just won't come to you sometimes? Beautiful Popess. Look at that peacock. Just gorgeous. The Empress. Stunning image. Is this going to be a reason to get shopping again? I don't think I can afford to watch Tarot Tube sometimes. Well, it's out of print, so you just enjoy. Yes, and an Islamic tower is often depicted in that way. Red wing. Delicate images, absolutely. They really are. The colours are lovely. And as I say, the Rose Tarot, particularly the majors, are also lovely like this, but there was just something about the pip cards that I just couldn't. I stopped using it very quickly, whereas I don't think I will with this one. I'm going to have to use this perhaps morning because since I got the Earth Magic yesterday, I've not been able to put it down. It's just gorgeous. Justice is 8. Love this Hermit. Kind of reminds me of the Ron Moody Fagin type, where he does that. He gets his stick and he does that. You've got to pick a pocket or two. We have the Wheel. We have Fortitude rather than Strength. I mean, that's gorgeous, isn't it? Do you see this style that he's talking about, the medieval style? Really gorgeous. The Hangman. Love this Death card. let's compare this death card with the one in the Rose Tarot, just so you're getting a bit of an idea as well. Hi, Flagella. Nice to see you. These feel tiny now. See, it's gone back to strength in this deck rather than fortitude, but he does have it as 11 again. So just to give you a little bit of a comparison, he's still using like a skeleton type figure, but that's the difference. I like the use of the colours. I like the purple in this and the red in this one. But must say I have greatly curbed my spending in the last year. Only bought 2 decks in 2022. Wow, that's impressive. I like this temperance. The devil. Very Baphomet-esque. Got grapes hanging around his neck as well. Tower that I've already shown. Star. Look at her hair. Love the moon and the sun. Gorgeous cards. Look at them. Judgment. Very fiery. And the world. Isn't it gorgeous? Really love it. Simon, I think you always have the most people watching during your lives. The Outcast Oracle. Hello, I didn't see you come in. Yeah, there's a lovely turnout. Really nice turnout. So we've got the Ace of Cups. 2, look at them. Very watery with their mermaid and merlord. Oh, I love it. 3. So nice big images, which is what I wanted because I just love his style. It's really, really gorgeous. Isn't it a shame when decks do go? I understand, why, things go out of print. Can't keep things in print forever, although some things are kept in print forever, aren't they? It's all down on sales, I suppose, but it's always a shame when decks do kind of vanish. So you see what I mean about you do get some scenery, something to kind of play around with, as well as the arrangement. And then we have our courts. I used to be the dancing oracle. Oh, wow. Then the music oracle, now the outcast oracle. I've had a bit of a card splurge this week. A couple of oracle decks and the Squid Cake Marseille. Simon made me do it. It's great though, isn't it? The Squid Cake Marseille. It's a lovely deck. So then we have our swords. MA says, this year I made it to January the 7th before I brought a deck. That's a week. Well done. That is a week though. Forever After asked about the black smiley character behind you on your tarot shelves. Black smiley character. Do you mean this here? It's not a black smiley character. It's the macabre tarot. I suppose it did kind of look from that angle like eyes. That's funny. Black smiley character. Yeah, it's the macabre tarot box. The coffin that makes the creaking noise when you open it. Oh, I love these images. Broken his sword, look. And they're running off. So again, if you're used to, not all of the pips display a RWS symbology. A lot do, like this one, the Six of Swords, the boat, but not all of them do. So we have a fox, for example, for the 7. Yes, it did. I thought it was a standing frog. Looks like eyes and a mouth. It does, doesn't it? It's 2 stars and a crescent moon. Maybe it's because it's got the light shining on it. If I cover the, I don't know, if I cover the light up, it's still. Oh wow, wow! This image is powerful. So it's the 9 of Swords, which is the Nightmare card. But look at that. I mean, the image isn't real because it's got this kind of yellow, ethereal kind of. It's the stuff of nightmares, but how weird is that? I like the artwork on this desk. Hello, Strawberry Vaginista. So our king and queens match nicely together as well, don't they? Nice pairing. And then we have our coins rather than pentacles. I like the reference to the earth there, Terra. I think all the aces did that though, to be fair. Yeah, because I remember, was it on Aqua was on the cups? Yes, Aqua. 3 of coins. I think Patrick might have some more resurrection decks up his sleeves. Oh, really? I have to get this deck out. It reminds me of the Pippish Old English Tarot Scenic Pip combo. Yeah. And that's, the second deck I've shown in 2 days that has like a Pippish Scenic combination with the Earth Magic too. This one actually would pair quite well because the Earth Magic is very sepia and dark, which would be great for night times. But this one's quite light and airy. So I think I'll work with these two over the next couple of weeks. Oh, I love the colours in the background there. Those rainbow colours are beautiful. Gorgeous. And again, the uniformity of the King and Queen cards. And then we have our staves for air. No, staves is going to be, because we had, because this staves look like arrows. We had cups, swords. It's the clubs, staves. I thought these aren't making sense with the images. Sorry, I came late to class. What deck is this again, please? This is an out of print deck that's been gifted to me. It's the Nigel Jackson Tarot, which is one that I've wanted for a few years now. So super kind of Ralph to send this over. Good luck, Justin, with your DIY. And then here we go for the King and Queen. Beautiful deck, really beautiful. Happy birthday, Paula. Is it Paula's birthday? Happy birthday, Paula. Simon, I ordered Tarot of the Bass after watching your video review on it. Tarot of the Bass? Tarot of the Bass? My review of it? I've not heard of Tarot of the Bass. I don't think it was me. I definitely have that on my list, as well as the Water Temple Oracle. Deanne left a comment earlier saying that following my review of the Earth Magic, which I got yesterday, that there's an Oracle deck out that he did an Oracle deck a few years ago, and I'm not looking. I'm really not looking, because it'll be from America again, and buying that deck, and I mean, I did okay, no customs to pay or anything like that, but yeah, I'm not taking that chance again. But I'm like, oh gosh, when I hear that there's like an Oracle deck by a creator, I think, it will pair well. Tower of the Bastard. Oh, Deck of the Bastard. Deck of the Bastard. Yes, that is a great deck. That's another one that's kind of like a hybrid one of different systems, hence its name. I didn't want to put the bad word in chat. Oh, you're fine. Surprised some of them have got through as well, because normally mods are allowed to swear, but very often they get hold for review. Love Tower of the Bastard. Yeah, it's great deck. I've got two versions of it. I've got one that's in cardstock and one that's in plastic. I bet Marsha's got the plastic version. Marsha likes her plastic. Love Deck of the Bastard. That was held, that one. Bye, Amanda. I'm going to be finished up soon as well. I'm just shuffling the deck to get it nice, and while we catch up on comments, get it nice and shuffled. Pull a card for us. I think that was a jumper. I really do think it was a jumper. Oh. We have the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups. Let's see what we can see in this symbology. So we've got, see what I mean about the word that denotes the suit, the element that it's representing here. So we've got aqua, because B is U. Back then they didn't do V's. But for me, the first thing that always comes to me when I pull an ace is it's that start, it's that fresh beginning, it's that newness that's coming in, but also becoming aware of, particularly on a sort of like what's happening to us on an emotional level. So for this week, what I would say to focus on is, get in touch with what's happening, start to have that new awareness, particularly, as I say, on anything to do with things that might be emotionally charged, things that might be to do with affairs of the heart, our relationships with people, or things that we just really, really care about and have that emotional connection with. And then express. Okay, so the active energy really of that ace is, yes, it's that sort of newness forming, that new awareness on an emotional level, but it's really important as well that we express this week. Maybe it's also to establish, new bonds. Maybe it's time to consider whether new feelings are developing, or maybe even with yourself, that sort of that desire to connect deeper, because again, that's a new awareness coming through, but that desire to connect deeper with yourself, or maybe to connect deeper with other people. So what is important is that you express this week when you find out, what's developing, what's blossoming. Got these beautiful roses that are blossoming as well, and coming into their own, coming into their full beauty. So that's the card pull. I'll just have a quick look at the chat, see if there's anything else before we head off. Marsha did get hers in plastic. I thought you would. YouTube has changed some standards around swearing. I didn't know that. But then why not? Because we've all had to state, aren't we, that our content is not for kids, it's not for children. So if it's an adult channel, then we're all adult enough to handle a cuss or two. Oh, excellent jumper. Yeah, that really felt like a jumper as well. Let me try by quoting Placebo. Sick and tired of Maggie's farm. She's a bitch with broken arms to wave her worries and cares goodbye. I'm quite sure what that's in relation to, but Maggie's farm, that reminds me of, is it Bob Dylan? I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. Ace of Cups always reminds me of the Celtic Mass, especially with the RWS version, because it has the host dangling right above. Yeah, looks like communion to me. Really can see where you're coming from with that. It does have that very kind of religious element to it, doesn't it? I find expressing difficult. That's just me, and maybe that's the message. First, you know, before you can express, you've got to. It starts with that awareness of what it is that you want to express, and also to connect deeper to make sure that when you are expressing, that it's coming from the right place, and you're in the right place to feel safe to express. Um, I'm not an adult. Hello, Rupert. Nice to see you. Thank you for the reading, Simon. It hit home. Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad it hit home. Um, oh, I was testing YouTube swearing sensors. Right. All right. Well, thank you for being here, everybody. I'm gonna head off and go and grab something to eat. I'm up early again tomorrow, but it was lovely as always to hang out with you. I hope you all have a relaxing rest of your weekend. Not sure when I'm back. Don't know if I've got anything coming or anything to show, but I always say that and then I pop up here and there. But yeah, enjoy your weekend, everyone. Thanks for being here. Until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.